Hey, this is Kevin Mauer coming to you from Cox Hill Gardens here in Carmel, Indiana. I want to talk to you about week 2. We're going to get into the research questions this week, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, just like today's fall weather. So what should you think about when you're thinking about research questions? First of all, how am I going to measure this? When we get to the later parts of the research experience, you're going to be figuring out 3 different ways to measure whatever you're going to do. If I were you, I would try to think about as many ways to measure things that you already have on hand. Whether it's NWEA tests, PSAT, inventories, surveys, things that you're already using within your school that you can either add or organize. I talked to a family member of mine who's going through a similar program as the one we have at Concordia, and she, through a county ISD, and she was wanting to do something that was outside of her current job. And I encouraged her, though that's a great ambition, and there are plenty of times to branch out and get into, she hasn't been a lot in discipline or in some of the budgeting. Those are great things, but try to make it so it's part of your current job today. Already existing data sets are your best friend. So how should we get this started? Because you have three due dates throughout the week. You've got your possible research questions, which will get feedback from your classmates. You've got your final research questions, and then my final approval. So there's several steps along the way. My first tip is think broad questions and think about what is the relationship, connection, correlation. Those are broad research question-y kind of words. Try to steer clear of prove, show, definitively. It's going to be hard to do that with a small data set, which is what you're going to be having in this sort of truncated research project, action research. And it should be something along the lines that you're already acting in. If you have to take on some new actions, it's going to make it somewhat harder, and we can work with that. And it should be an open-ended question. If you can answer it yes or no, then it's not really the research question that we're going to pursue. And then the third thing is, how am I going to measure this? How much do I have to create? And the more you have to create, the more you should pump those brakes on that question. My advice would be to get me your questions so I can check the form and the wording before you take it to the class. Feel free to email me those. So before the possible questions assignment is due on Tuesday, I would get me those questions. Perhaps even as early as Saturday or Sunday, so I can get them back to you. It won't take me long to look them over and get them right back to you, so then you can bring it to your classmates who are in the field just like you, and then you can finalize them by the end of the week. It seems a little daunting, but this work's important, and it's important to think through how you're going to do it, the way you phrase the question, and the wording you use. Because throughout this, we're researchers of a small-scale action research project, which is really going to only have an N of 5 to maybe 15 or 20. It's going to be in one location. So we have to keep our wording similar to the study that we're doing. So I hope you do great. Remember, call, text, email, whatever you need as you're working through this, especially this weekend. I wish you the best. I hope you have a great fall weekend and a great time getting these questions together. Thank you.